Chi-Town, what's going on with you, man?
Man,
I just missed that one up. But
yeah,
but but but
you want to start
welcome
again?
to welcome. No, we ain't gotta start over. This authentic, baby. Welcome to Boston on the record with Chi-Town and Randy. Chi-Town, what's going on with you, man? What you got on your mind? What you want to put on the record?
Randy, yo, so check this out, man. Tonight, we have Boo Boo versus David Benavidez tonight. Demetrius Andrade versus David Benavidez tonight. Um, Bro, I gotta tell you, man. Well, let me start here. Man. I really, really, really want to do this fight based off my emotions. Off my emotions, I'm picking Boo Boo. I'm gonna tell you why I'm picking Boo Boo. Off my emotions, Boo Boo for me, okay. Boo Boo was that guy back in what 20 I can't remember to say 2015, 2016, whichever it was, when all of them were at 154 pounds. Him, Canelo, and the Charlo twins, all of them were right there together, but they didn't fight each other. And out of all of them, we all wanted them to fight. We all needed them to fight each other. We knew that. And out of all of them, I have Boo Boo beating every single last one of them. Boo Boo was that guy for me back then. Boo Boo had just nothing but just, man, beautiful talent. He had Ring Jones. He's just a good fighter all around, and he was unorthodox. A little bit of Roy Jones in there, a little bit, but he was just so smooth and slick with it. But because, like we have said about previous fighters, because of whatever the reason is that kept him out of the ring for long extended periods of time, we seen we seen him come back in the ring looking extremely rusty, looking, false, and then but trying to act like he's more than what he is and winning whatever fight he's winning. But we haven't seen that guy that we knew he really was back then, and we knew he was going to be off emotions, because he is that guy to me. He's the dude that I really thought was going to be it all. Champion of the world. I expected him to win every marathon that was coming out. He was going to win every baseball game that came out, every basketball game that came out. That's what he was going to do. He was that guy. But because of all this inactivity, because of all these things, whew, the logic tells me it's not even going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen tonight at all. I really want it to happen, and let me tell you why, man. Boo Boo's footwork has slowed down tremendously. His awkwardness has gone from him having an awkward style to him just literally being awkward. Dude's out there like just stepping over himself. You know what I'm saying? Tripping up in the middle of the thing. Sneezing and coughing, and while he going. I mean, what are you doing, man? Get your stuff together. Come on. You know. That's because he's been out of the ring, for a minute, and then he come back and trying to prove something to everybody, and I don't know what that is, but he somehow thinks he hits harder than what he really does, you know. And I saw the 24, not 24/7, it's all access now. I saw the all access of this, man, and the all access was trash, yo. I mean, I was not inspired to watch the fight based off that all access. It meant nothing. It meant zero to me. I didn't feel that either fighter had an advantage coming out of watching that. Like, oh man, oh I see that now. Now I'm gonna go for David, or I'm gonna go for him. It was just trash, man. Same thing before, but in there, I think if I recall correctly, Boo Boo spoke about some people that I guess he hurt in sparring, like in the past. I don't necessarily remember in the present, but maybe in the past. And that really stuck with me because it made me think like why at these different weights, 160, 168, why he thinks he has power, because maybe he's hurting some people in sparring, but you out here in the real fight, you're not really hurting anybody. And then he goes through this phase of coming out very quick and then getting exhausted and drained, doing the uh 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 oh gosh, Caleb Plant type of thing, getting exhausted in the second half of the fight. So now you grab a hold, dip down, do this little awkward thing, and look, it's just weird. He has the talent to beat David. David is a trash fighter. Let me say that again. David's fighting is garbage. But David, man, dude got those hands like God knows what. His hands are so beautiful. He's like an anomaly. He can't really box. His footwork is not seasoned. And I mean, he all over the place. He's there to be hit and he can be hit. But God, oh, this dude can overwhelm you with all kinds of punches, man. That just kind of, and I do believe his punches have steam on them, but there's just an accumulation of them and just wears you down, man. Takes your energy away. He just comes back. Especially David gets stronger as the fight goes on, as you get weaker. The only time I saw him really sucking for air and doing those things was when he fought against Caleb Plant. And he said that he learned a lot in that Caleb Plant fight, which we expected him to, because Caleb Plant is a crafty boxer. He can move. He's on toes. I just wish Caleb Plant had more stamina where he could do that like an entire fight. But he did make David look, like he didn't really know how to box. Boo has the ability to do that, but I don't see that showing up in this fight. It may show up for 2 or 3 rounds, but I can't see it, showing up throughout the entire fight. Um, Emotionally, I want Boo Boo to pull it through, but logic based off of what I'm seeing, he has the better skills and things. Just literally, just it's just him. I'm leaning towards David in this fight. I'll let you go ahead and get off, man. I'll come on back now.
Um, throughout our boxing, watching boxing, pretty much all of our lives, every now and then you run across a fight that's hard to call. Most of the time, you kind of know who gonna win. Most of the time, you kind of got an idea. You kind of close or what have you. For me, this is one of those fights that's I'm not too sure about who gonna win this fight, man. I've seen Boo Boo in his last 3 fights. He looked like garbage. I mean, like, I mean, he's not that guy. If I had seen him in those 3 fights, and that was the first time I've seen him, I mean, I couldn't really tell you what would be special about this guy. But knowing him and following his career, we know how special he is. But there again, there go where we tend to lean on boxers past versus the state they are in now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to pick this fight, but I still have to lean toward uh uh Benavidez, and for one reason I'm leaning toward Benavidez. You might not have heard nobody say this. Then again, you might be able to relate to this when I say this. To me, there's nothing really special about Benavidez, but he reminds me of a Canelo Alvarez. He don't have a whole lot of movement, but he got some heavy hands, and throughout the fight, they wear you down. So, but I'm still kind of on the fence because I'm like, can Boo Boo elude him 12 rounds and score in those 12 rounds and pull it off? Can he catch Boo Boo with some of that awkward movement that Boo Boo has and hurt him? So I'm really not sure, but I got to logic, got to tell me, and I'm speaking strictly off of logic. It's got to tell me to stick with Benavidez. I might be wrong, but it won't be the first time I'm wrong. Hope I live long enough to be wrong again. But logic tells me to stick with Benavidez because of the way Boo Boo has been looking in his last fights. He's not getting any younger. The younger guys coming up, which is Benavidez, and he's moving along in his career. So that's where I'm at on it, man.
Yeah,
What
Randy.
you
I
got?
mean, every like you said. I mean, everything you said, especially that last part about logic, has got you there, which is how I kind of stored it off. And the logic for me is literally just coming down to the youth, bro. The youth. You know what I'm saying? Uh, David Benavidez. I mean, and I know I'm looking at this from a medical perspective, but I can't not do that based off of how we've been seeing Boo Boo fighting over the last couple of fights. As we get older, we start, our muscle fibers tend to, not be like they were. Let me say it that way. I think that's the easiest non-medical way of saying it. Tend to not be like they were when we were in our 20s, when we were younger, where the fibers are able to kind of move a lot quicker, what you call fast twitch muscles, if you will, fibers, and even to bounce back a lot quicker, a lot easier. So you can do certain instant bursts and then jump back, instant bursts and then jump back. That's not just based off of like the fast twitch muscle. That's also based off the muscle being able to stretch out and then bounce right back to its thing. That's what allows you, to do those jump to one side real quick, jump to the other one, jump, 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 side, side, like those little quick timing type of things. Because the muscle fibers are also able to stretch and come right back real quick. When you get older, you can't do that much because it takes the muscle fibers longer to come back to their original position. So that's like if you try to jump to a side real quick and then go to another one quick, there's a huge pause there because the muscle fibers haven't gotten back to their reset state. And then you got to wait and then jump to the next one there. Whereas when you're younger, you're able to do it because muscle fibers bounce back very quickly. Based off of just that little simple analogy, there is why I have to go with the logic on Benavidez versus Boo Boo tonight. Boo Boo, I have seen, if I still look at it from a medical perspective with the muscle fibers, I have seen a decline in his muscle fibers, if you will, in his fight. I've seen these delays occurring in his footwork, these delays occurring in him being able to move around the ring a certain way when he needs to move around the ring a certain way. And that usually happens as the fight goes on when I'm seeing this in him. But also, in like the beginning of like say the first 2 or 3 rounds, I see it starting already. I see these issues starting to develop already when I'm watching them fight. Whereas the youth, who's David Benavidez, I'm not seeing that in the first, second, third. Pretty much not many of the rounds at all. Unless he just gets just all the way fatigued, because fatigue does add to that as well. But I don't see those types of issues occurring at all in his fights, regardless if he did a good fight or a bad fight. I don't see those mechanical issues occurring. So that's one huge part of logic that has me going with Benavidez in this fight. I would love to be wrong. I sure would love to be wrong because I do like Boo Boo a lot. I like both of them, and but David needs something like this so he can be better. And the reason why I love to be wrong because David is not a good fighter. He needs a lesson. I don't want him beating a dude that used to be a really good fighter like this. He needs to learn from these kind of cats so he can start tightening up his defense, tightening up his footwork, get his footwork together, get away from your daddy and all these people. Get a real boxing trainer in there that can teach you how to move properly. Stop being one dimensional. Because one thing that David does is he also he brings his feet, his back foot and his front foot. He brings them parallel, side by side together when he's coming in and throwing his 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combination. Bro, that's something that I mean, if you 3 years old, you're doing it okay. But if you 6 years old and you're doing it in the boxing gym, you get kicked out of the boxing gym. That's how taboo that is. That's like nails on the chalkboard. Nobody can do that. And if
Yeah.
you was fighting against someone that could really hit, you would go flat on your whatever. So, anyways, that's where I'm at with it all, Randy. My heart wants Boo Boo, but logic says David's going to win tonight. And that's pretty much all I got there.
Yeah. I think you summed it up, man. I think that time is just catching up with Boo Boo. I think, and a lot of that off balance stuff could be the fact that he's getting older and it's harder for him to hold his balance and things of that nature. And like we just said, the younger guys coming up, Benavidez, he ain't nothing special about him, but sometimes it don't take nothing special because we know nothing special about Canelo, but he get the job done. So it remains to be seen. With that being said, we're out of here like last
Peace.
year.